How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I bring you an update in the case of Breonna Taylor. This case, in my humble opinion, is closed. It's a wrap. There's not much more to see here. Now, before I begin, I want to say rest in peace to Breonna Taylor. Don't take it as I'm trying to gloat or brag or anything like that, but I just want to say I knew it already. I did a video about it, and I've said what happened. I've said what already transpired as it relates to what the Attorney General Daniel Cameron said, to what the judge said, to all the facts. I've already said it. And if you want to fact check me, I'll have all my documents, all my links in the description box below. But let's go back a little bit. A few days. The civil case already got announced, already got settled. They gave $12 million to Breonna Taylor's family. So that's already done. You won't have any more proceedings as it relates to that, if I'm not mistaken. The only thing left here is the criminal case. Now, there were some criminal charges announced for one of the officers, but not for what you may be thinking. There were 3 officers involved with Breonna Taylor's death, and their names are Jonathan Mattingly, Miles Cosgrove, and Brett Hankinson. None of those officers were charged in Breonna Taylor's death. I'll repeat that. None of those officers were charged in Breonna Taylor's death. Nobody. There were no charges for Breonna Taylor's death. All right. Shooting her, unfortunately, was justified. The only officer who did get charged was Brett Hankinson. He got charged with 3 counts of wanton endangerment. Unlike what the so-called lawyer on Fox News, John Yoo, said, wanton endangerment is not murder or manslaughter or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I don't think he actually shot anybody. If he did shoot someone, they didn't die. Wanton endangerment is relating to the fact that he shot into other apartments that were nearby, not just at Breonna Taylor and or her boyfriend, who was the actual target. And that's a great segue into the whole boyfriend thing. There were 2 warrants executed that night. One was on the trap house where Breonna Taylor was not at the time, but she had been seen on surveillance, on camera, with her car, license plate, all of that at the house, her other so-called boyfriend's house. And then there was a warrant for Breonna Taylor's house. Her name was on the warrant. I'll place that in the box below and also on the screen before you. Her name was on the warrant. It was her apartment. It was not the wrong house. They had a warrant. They had a no-knock warrant, but they didn't use it. Now, there was at least one witness who said that the police knocked and identified themselves. The police said they knocked and identified themselves. The boyfriend said that they knocked, but did not identify themselves. The media said that the police didn't knock. It was no-knock warrant, ran in the house, killed Breonna Taylor. That's not what happened. Nobody says it except for the media and those on the left and those who are ignorant to the facts. All right. Moving right along. They had a warrant for the house. They knocked, identified themselves, and as they're coming into the house, the boyfriend shoots his gun first. All right. Shoots the gun first because they're knocking. There's nobody answering. So they went ahead and breached entry. The boyfriend shoots at the officer first. I think he might have actually hit the officer. After that, the police let their guns off. Now, they shot a few times, quite a few times, in a matter of seconds. I don't think the boyfriend got hit one time, but Breonna Taylor got hit at least 6 times. All right. At least 6 times she got hit. I thought it might have been 8 or 9 in the last video, but from what I heard from Daniel Cameron, we'll get to in a minute, he said there was at least 6 projectiles that hit her that were caused by the police. And unfortunately, she died. And the bullet that killed her probably killed her within 2 minutes at the most. You know, it wasn't like this elongated thing. It was pretty quick. And the boyfriend gave an interview in jail and pretty much said that, except for the whole thing about the police identifying themselves. But he said that he shot first. He admitted that already. He said that they were both in the hallway. She was not in their bed sleeping. So that's what it was. Breonna Taylor was an EMT at one particular point in time, but she was not an EMT when this whole thing happened. She had been fired from being an EMT because she rented a car and the dead body was found in the car that she rented. Now, I don't know if she killed him or if her boyfriend did it. I have no idea who killed him and or how he died. I don't know what happened, but a dead body was found in her car and she got fired as a result of that. I don't believe there's any kind of charges pressed against her for that, but that was enough to get her fired from being an EMT. Now, I don't know what she was doing beyond an EMT. Apparently, it was being involved in the dope game from the documents that I have. And again, I'll place those in a link in the description box below. You can read it for yourself. Now, there was no charges for the officers. This is the appropriate thing. Shout out to the Kentucky Attorney General, Daniel Cameron. He did an excellent job explaining all the facts and all the details. He was really well measured. He expressed, sympathy and his condolences to the family of Breonna Taylor, because that's their loved one. She might have been in a dope game, but it's still their loved one, their child, their friend. I understand people are upset that she died, but he's like, okay, we got to be able to follow the law and see where that leads us. We can't just react off emotion. And he appealed to those that wanted to protest peacefully. Go ahead and protest peacefully. It's all good. But the rioters and whatnot, that's not what we got to do. We got to protest peacefully. Now, unfortunately, you do have the rioters in town. There was a video I saw on the Twitters, and I'm pretty sure it's accurate. I see it on multiple sources, where you have a whole U-Haul van full of Antifa signs. Now, I've never seen, like grassroots stuff in a U-Haul van. Where are they coming from? Where are those signs? Where do they come from? Did it get made in a factory somewhere? Did some guy just drive them down from California? Like, where are those signs really coming from? Can we trace that plate to see its point of origin? Like, what's happening? But they are in town. Hopefully you don't have a bunch of crazy stuff going on. I think the officers haven't moved away, as well as their families, and thank God for that. They have the National Guard activated in Kentucky because you're going to need it. There, unfortunately, could be some riots, but it shouldn't be any riots. I knew for a while that this would end this way. Shout out to my brother, Brandon Tatum. He had all the documents pretty early. He had all the documents about how she was involved with the dope game. Now, some say, I say that she sold drugs. I never said that she sold drugs. She was involved with the dope game. You can be involved with the dope game in a bunch of different ways. You can be a driver. You could be somebody to answer the phone. That's how Allison Marie Johnson got locked up, because she wasn't out there on the block selling drugs. She was just answering the phone, but she was involved with the dope game. And she admits that, like, yeah, I was involved, but I mean, 25, 30, 50 years is a little bit too long. All right. The boyfriend in this case is the reason why Breonna Taylor died. And really, I think she might have been used as a human shield, because I don't understand. It's like, all right, if y'all both in the hallway and the boyfriend shoots first, where were you at? Why did you get hit a bunch of times with your boyfriend didn't get hit at all? How did that really work? All right. It was a bad decision-making process that went on in that house or in that apartment, wherever they were living. The officers did nothing wrong here. They did their job very well. They had a no-knock warrant, but they didn't use it. They knocked on the door. They announced themselves. What more could have been done? Daniel Cameron did an excellent job being able to present all the facts. I like him to become the next Supreme Court justice. When you have Clarence Thomas retired, go ahead and appoint Daniel Cameron. He's a pretty young man, married, likable guy, maybe even the next president. He was really good up there on the stage. Conservative guy, of course, but he was fair, very fair. And like I said, it's a tragedy that she died, but it's not the officer's fault. They should not be thrown under the bus or in the penitentiary for this whole thing. I don't think the other officer, what's his name, Hankinson, will go to the penitentiary, because I feel like the shooting into the other apartments was an accident because you are being shot at by somebody. All right. I think that guy, the boyfriend, shot an officer. So it was like, what do you do? All you had to do was just come on out. They're knocking on the door. Police, police, police. Come on out. Why shoot at the cops? It's not going to end well. As I close, I want to say this. All that really matters here are the facts, are the documents, the evidence. The emotionalism and the appeal to morality is irrelevant. Give me the facts, and that's it. I don't really care about anything else. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that justice was served in this particular case? Again, nobody got charged for Breonna Taylor's death, but one officer got charged for wanton endangerment for shooting into the other apartments, not for shooting Breonna Taylor. I don't think he shot Breonna Taylor at all, let alone killed her. If you think that justice was served, let me know in the comments below. If it wasn't, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I stand. this was the correct thing to do, to not charge the officers for Breonna Taylor's death. They didn't do anything wrong. If they knock on the door, announce themselves, and they get shot by a guy inside, what else are you going to do? Right? You got drug running happening. You got dead bodies being found. I mean, you got a lot of things going on. It's a dangerous situation. What else are you really going to do? What else can you do? The boyfriend caused this, not the police. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.